Hi everyone, so today I'm going to put the final coat of, well really the final layer of everything on my Gravity Falls journal. I made this for a costume. Whether or not I'm going to go out in that costume, the TBD, honestly. But I made this from scratch. It's just cardboard. It's a Cheez-It box, some cut up cardboard, and then paint, paper mache, stuff like that. And I'm gonna seal everything in with watered down Mod Podge, just to make sure it lasts a little bit longer, holds up to the elements a little bit better, even though it's not going to be like a super, I don't know, it's cardboard still at the end of the day. So I'm going to start on the back so that if I don't like the consistency of the mix that I put together, it's not a big deal. And then I'll just kind of work my way around. So I wanted to kind of put this video together because I wanted to talk about cosplay, because it's something that was actually a pretty big part of my life for a while. And like, I wouldn't say like the only thing in my life. I definitely wasn't like a professional cosplayer or anything, but it was a big deal for me for a while, and I really liked it. And there were kind of a couple parts of it that I really wanted to touch on, and a lot of feelings came up when I was making this that I wasn't prepared for it, and like not in a negative way, just in a, I just didn't expect to be thinking about it like that, I guess. So I'm like, I've always done crafts and of different disciplines. I when I was younger, I did a lot of like beadwork, and then I just, I did crafts here and there. I learned how to like knit when I was younger. I wasn't like super crazy like into knitting, but I enjoyed it, casually. Like pretty much everything I did was kind of casually. I think that the idea of like jack of all trades, master of none is definitely always been my kind of MO. And what was cool about cosplay when I found out about it was kind of like, it was a place that kind of nurtured that type of skill where you kind of did a little bit of everything. Like with cosplay, like you do hair, you like style wigs, and you sew, and you sculpt, and you like, there's all these different parts of cosplay that that you do, and you kind of have to know how to do a little bit of everything. You don't have to be great at it, because it's like, once you zoom out to the big picture, it's, not a big deal if you're, not a professional hairstylist or anything like that. And so it really just like suited my skills of, being able to kind of pick up, a lot of things and be like decent enough at them, and like to like pass. And people kind of noticed me almost immediately in the community. And again, like, I'm not hyping myself up. I'm not trying to say that like I was a big deal. Like, I was not at all. Like, please don't let it please don't let my tone or my words fool you. But like, I felt like people like were very complimentary of me, and that was really cool, and something that kind of felt like it came out of nowhere for me. And I had a lot of fun, and also like with makeup, like makeup was a big part of my cosplay identity, I guess. And so I like doing, a lot of makeup for cosplay was a big thing for me. And you could really kind of customize it to, like, there are some things that I was just never going to be good at, but I would just wouldn't do costumes that, had those particular facets, I think another thing too was kind of my awakening into this kind of like broader like nerd culture, because growing up I would not say I was particularly nerdy at all. And you know, I played like Nintendo games and stuff kind of casually. When I was younger, we had like a Nintendo 64, but I wasn't like a huge gamer or anything. And then as I changed high schools in 10th slash 11th grade, I made a group of friends, and they were all gamers. Like they played, and you know, I like learned how to play Halo and sucked at it so bad. And you know, but it was fun, and I felt like a community, and I started to become really into gaming and stuff like that. And so when I started doing costuming, it kind of felt natural, you know. And even if I started, even if I like wanted to do a costume and I didn't know much about the source, it was like I it drove me to want to learn more about the games that I would see these cool looking characters in. So it kind of, you know, a lot of people, they start dressing up because they like the game, and I guess I kind of went a little bit backwards on that. Or they like, you know, and then I started reading comic books, and comic books became like a huge deal to me. And I read comic books for years, and then when I went to college, I just didn't have time. You know, I like, you know, when I talk about going to college, I mean like going to college for the second time, because I kind of split mine up between going to community college for my associates, and then going to a 4-year to complete my bachelor's. And so, like, when I went to get my bachelor's, I just didn't have time. I was doing so much. I was doing all the things, and I just didn't have time to do to read, you know, comic books and stuff as much as I wanted. So I stopped for a long time, and then, you know, immediately after college, got hired into a corporate job, and, you know, didn't have time to read because I was doing exams and working crazy hours. And so I feel like, you know, just recently have I had like the time and also the drive to want to read comics again, which is why I talk about that Hoopla app so much, because getting back into reading comic books has been so exciting for me. Like, I love comic books so much. And I could just like geek out about it just for a significant amount of time. And you know, all of this stuff for me, you know, I think a lot of people kind of discover their kind of more nerdy passions as they're growing up and they're younger. And for me, that wasn't really the case. I kind of put my fingers in it, but it's okay. It's just a top coat, so it's not the worst thing ever. But for me, I was, you know, in my late teens, early 20s when I kind of discovered a lot of this. But I dove headfirst into that, and for the first time, I felt like I kind of had a better idea of my own identity and passions. And also, again, I had this like creative outlet that was really exciting and rewarding for me, that you know, I could do anything I wanted to. You know, I could make anything I wanted to. The sky was a limit. And also, this was kind of what I would say is kind of like the peak, you know, era of like, or like the peak era, or like the beginning of the peak era of cosplay. and stuff in like popular culture, and so it was happening all around me, and then I was getting to enjoy the benefits of, really popular cosplayers who had been at it for years, um, you know, kind of making uh, different conventions, and things, more accessible to people. People were starting to, more conventions were starting to openly advertise, and I'm from North Carolina, like there's no huge, North Carolina is not known for its big comic conventions and stuff like that. So it was really cool. So yeah, I'm gonna let this side fully dry before I flip it. One of the reasons I watered down, I was looking up different sealants for imitation gold leaf, and watered down Mod Podge was on that list. And the reason why it's nice to water it down to seal gold leaf, is that if you just use Mod Podge by itself, and if you've used it, you've probably noticed this, is it's so thick it doesn't fully self-level, so you'll get some like brush strokes, and it's not always like the smoothest that you want, and so if you water it down, you can help it level out a little bit. And I did like a 50-50 mixture. I don't know if I feel like it looks good. It doesn't look like it's filling in the gaps of everything, which I wanted. That's how I wanted it, so that's good. So far I'm happy with it. I feel like another thing with kind of getting into like kind of like nerdier things was that I was starting to make a lot of new friends in that area, and I found that I just really connected with people who were like nerds, and like who were like nerdier, and honestly, like all my friends in North Carolina that I have now, like they're all from that period of time and in my life, and they're just the most genuine and cool people, and I can talk to them about anything at any time, and I've just valued their friendship, because we were able to have a good friendship, and also and have hobbies. I also was able to just like find things that I really really liked. I was able to put not just like creative things with cosplay, but like I was able to find out that I like love playing Magic the Gathering. I love watching I loved reading comic books. Like I like certain movie series and movies, like I absolutely loved and was obsessed with, and I just like felt like I found a community in like every single one of those things. So cosplay and just like nerd culture in general, just was so important for me in so many facets, and I just like just making this kind of reminded me of that time where it would just be, I felt like I had kind of finally figured something out, and that was really cool, because up until then I felt kind of like adrift with everything, and I didn't really know where my place was in things, and did I have it all figured out because I was in my late teens, early 20s? No, not at all. But did I feel like at least a little bit more confident in how I fit into things and how I could fit into things? It helped. It helped, and I made good friends that I have years later, and I'm so thankful for. So I just wanted to share that with you all. Yeah, so I'm gonna finish coding this book, and hopefully that makes it a little bit more durable, and then we'll see if I go to LA Comic Con tomorrow, or if this is just a Halloween Halloween costume for now, and then maybe one day I'll bring it somewhere. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. It was just kind of like a little story time, because I just got super nostalgic yesterday and wanted to talk about it. So thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.